Good morning. I'm Jen Ciolino. I'm a member here at Heritage Universalist Unitarian Church, and I'm today's worship associate. What is that, you might ask? That is somebody who says hi, makes announcements, and makes sure the candles are ready. If you're interested in doing that job once in a while, please see Bethany Rogers, as is outlined in your announcements. So whether you're here in the sanctuary, joining us live on Zoom, or connecting with us at another time, I'm glad you're here. Now, even though this is a service about technology, we're going to recognize that sometimes it's a disruption. So please silence your devices to minimize those disruptions today. Now, I want to recognize that while in the Unitarian Universalist faith, today is not considered a high holy Sunday, it is an American secular high holy Sunday. It is Super Bowl Sunday. And in honor of Super Bowl Sunday, I have a minor protest going on, which is my Bengals socks. Yes. So I was asked this week who I wanted to win. I said I'm not vested in either team, but it would be fun to see Kelsey propose to Taylor. So hopefully, so go Chiefs. All right, so even though I will protest their chop stuff. Okay, so I also, so if you're new here, like our services are wildly varying, and you get an opportunity to see a sliver of that just in me being up here. But I really do want to welcome you. If you're with us in person, I invite you to sign our guest book in the lobby. You can learn more about us on our website, huc.net. Our greeter from the Board of Trustees is Roger Miller. He's in the back. He's waving his hands up in the air. He can answer any questions you might have, give you a tour. If you look at the reverse of your order of service, you'll find that we're very busy. And most notably, and the Super Bowl is not till 6:30, so y'all have time to come to the potluck. We have a potluck Sunday today, so we welcome you into the Great Hall after the service. Even if you did not bring anything to eat, which I'm always guilty of, except maybe once I think we brought some bread and dip or something. But there's always enough. So please feel free to join us. The last thing I'll mention in terms of the announcements, you may have seen the signs out front. Many of you, probably most of you already know, we had in our congregation, we believe, banners out front that were vandalized repeatedly to the point of being beyond repair. We have been raising money by selling signs to spread our message around the community. I had to order a second batch of signs because we're selling them. We're well into the black on having dollars there, but there's more available. If the $20 donation ask isn't workable for you right now, take one anyway, because spreading our message is so important right now. And if we any funds that we have in excess of replacing the banners are going to go into our social justice fund, and there is Bob dancing with our beautiful signs. We've got stakes for in the yard. So as we prepare for our worship today, I do want to extend a warm welcome to everyone, whether you're seeking your path, confident in your beliefs, and I want to enrich all of you who bring a diverse background, culture, expression of love, and expression of identity. In this place, we affirm the inherent worth and dignity of every person, and we are committed to creating a space where all of who you are is embraced with both respect and with celebration.
Technology is the knack of arranging the world that we don't have to experience it.
Men and women have become the tools of their tools. Henry David Thoreau.
Arthur Schlesinger once said, "Science and technology revolutionize our lives, but memory, tradition, and myth frame our response."
Tom Brokaw had said, We lost our way and allowed greed and excess to become the twin pillars of too much of our financial culture. We became a society utterly absorbed in consumption and dismissive of moderation.
Please rise up and join us in singing Come, Come, Whoever You Are.
Good. So we're going to sing the song 3 times. First time through, everybody together. Then we'll divide into 3 groups. Group 1, Group 2, Group 3. And we'll sing it 2 more times as a round. So here we go. Sherry's going to play it.
Sorry. I'm new at this. Love is the spirit of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humankind in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus we do covenant with each other and with God.
I am going to want to use the handheld mic, just giving a thank you. Okay. All right, to our young people who are in the congregation, I'm going to ask you to come forward and sit along the step here, facing the congregation. Okay, so come forward. Any of you have seen me do this again? You might know what this setup is. It's the interview the kids setup. Okay. So, yep, sit looking at the congregation. Good job, good job. Okay. I'm going to grab the handheld mic, but right before I do that, I just want to say, we're talking about, we are talking about technology today, and I felt like no conversation about technology would really be complete if we did not hear from our youngest generation about their own sense of technology. So we're going to take just a few minutes to talk to the kids about technology in their lives, okay? So a reminder, because they're looking at you all adults are gonna see the back of my head. I have been told recently that it's really on point back there, so you should have a nice view, okay? All right. Okay. Let's start with a question here. Tell me what devices you all own. Okay? Mom owns a laptop and a phone. I know that life. Okay. A phone, one, maybe two computers, and a TV. All right, TVs are devices. That's right. Good job. A computer. Family has a TV. Good job. Okay. Yes. Okay, let's start with you, and then let's see what else is in the house. An iPad and kind of a computer? What is kind of a computer? Okay, it's a family computer. All right. The kind of is a question of ownership, not what it is. It's not kind of a computer. It is a computer. It's kind of yours. Okay. All right. That's helpful. Okay. What do you do on these devices?
I play games on my mom's phone.
Yep.
I make print coloring pages on my mom's laptop. My mom helps me.
All right. Games on the phone, printing coloring pages, and to watch the TV. Yes. Okay. Mostly documents. Wow. What kind of documents? That's okay. Well, no, it's okay. There are different kinds of documents. Yeah, I feel you on that. Everything. Like you do everything on these devices. Yeah, say more about that. Most anything you want to do, you can do on a computer. Okay. How long, here's one. How long have you used a computer? How long have you had it? That's a good question. Not how long have you had it? Go ahead.
About 2 years.
About 2 years.
I've had my computer for like
5
5 years.
years. Yeah, phone less long.
My UTV for 2 years.
2 years. Okay.
My mom's phone and laptop, I have no idea.
Okay. We have no idea how long mom's had that phone. Could be a long time. There you go. Okay. Now, here's what would it be like if you didn't have any of these things? Torture. Torture. Who says yes to torture? It would all be torture. Okay. Can you imagine a world where there was not these kinds of technology? Yes. 1876. Okay. That was a world where there was no technology. There were technologies then. They just weren't the technologies we had then. In 1876, someone was having a conversation about what kind of, horrifying advances in technology there was, but it was most probably like the telephone. I don't know. The telegram. I don't know. I'm not sure what was revolutionary back then. Okay, so just one other question, which I think you all are. I think I know the answer, but well, because I don't exactly know the answer. So how much do you use technology to connect with other peers? A lot. Okay. Sometimes.
Sometimes my mom doesn't let me send gifts to my dad.
Right, okay, yep.
Little short videos.
Yes. Emailing, okay. So, all right. We're going to pause there I want the adults to hear what you said. So a lot of the time that you spend on devices is connecting to other people, and sometimes that's through texting, sometimes that's through email, sometimes that's through sending gifts, which are tiny image videos, right? Okay. All right. So what one device, what technology would you love if someone could invent?
A time travel machine.
Time travel machine. Okay. All right. Any other hopes for technology? Go ahead, William. Okay, we're not sure. Something. There's a desire, but we're just not sure what it's for. Dean? Same. Okay.
Time travel machine because there's no really other answer. You can get anything by just going to
All right. All right. Stay, y'all stay seated right here. I'm going to get it.
Wait, I know.
All right, Jean.
A money making machine.
Oh, my. A money-making machine. That was the last answer. That was the addition. A money-making machine. All right. So when we talk about justice today, we're going to talk about that money-making machine, okay? The last answer was a time machine. There's lots of support for time machine, in part because there's nothing else you can't do if you don't have a time machine. That was the answer there. Okay. So yes. So that's our quick. That is our quick foray into our young people and technology. I hope that was interesting and illustrative to you. It certainly gave me some useful information. Kids, we're about to go. We're going to the kitchen today, okay? We are going to make some cookies. But who are those cookies for? There we go, because we're giving them away. So everyone be excited. We're making cookies to give away. Guess who might be getting them? All right, be excited. All right, we are now gonna sing "We Will Keep a Place for You" as we all go to the kitchen.
All right.
Good morning. I'm Erin Walzewski, and I'm here to talk about sharing our abundance. So if you're new to the church or visiting on Zoom, one of the cool things about our church is that every week when we pass the offering plate, 100% of what we pick up goes not inside the church, but outside to a local, state, or national nonprofit that connects with our message of the day or with a timely issue. Today we're talking about technology, and our Sharing Our Abundance recipient is a very small local profit called Cincinnati Computer Reuse. But what I want to talk about is how we keep stuff out of the landfill. Okay, by a show of hands, who here has ever consumed a beverage out of an aluminum can? And how do we keep these out of the landfill? Recycle it. It's easy. You put it in the can, and aluminum is one of the most easily recyclable materials we have. All right, who here has ever produced kitchen scraps or yard waste? Special shout out to my husband for eating this apple on the way to church so that I would have, thank you, Luke, so that I would have this little prop. And how do we keep kitchen scraps and yard waste out of the landfill? Compost. We compost here at church. We do it at school. We've taught the kids during RE how to compost. Maybe we won't put that on the altar. All right, clothing. When we're done with clothing, how do you keep it out of the landfill? Yes, I heard both answers here. If it's in good condition, you donate it to somebody else who might be able to use it if it's not your style anymore, if you've outgrown it. If you are my children, and when you are done with the pants, they look like this, then you can do cloth recycling. Okay, last question. Who here has ever used a laptop or a desktop computer? And how do we keep this out of the landfill? Pile it in your garage. Yes. I will say, Laura, I had my choice of old laptops in picking which one to bring today as a prop because I keep them all in my house. So you probably don't have something as easy as toss it in the compost bin or toss it in the recycling bin, but computers are one of the most reusable things because they can be both refurbished or recycled. And most of us probably don't know how to do that. But Cincinnati Computer Reuse does, and they do both of those things. They do large-scale work with places like my office, which gives me a new laptop every 2 years. It's not because the old one didn't work, that's just the cycle that they use. And when they refurbish those, they're able to put them in the hands of people and especially other nonprofits that could really use that technology at an affordable price. And if it can't be refurbished, then they recycle it in a way that's environmentally friendly, and those pieces can be put where they're going to end up being able to be reused again in some other format, not the landfill. I will say, so that is the end of the spiel. That is what we're supporting today as we think about our relationship with technology. Our Sharing Our Abundance is thinking about our relationship with technology when we are done with it, and how it could either go to a new person, a new family, a new organization, or be out of the landfill. So get your moneymaker machines out now and get ready for the plate to be passed. I will say, when I picked up this one, my son was the one who said that technology didn't exist in 1876. He said, "Is that laptop from the olden days?" So we now welcome, if you're on Zoom, the link is in the chat, and if you're here in the sanctuary, we welcome your gifts to the Cincinnati Computer Reuse. Thank you for your generosity.
When I tell people I don't have a cell phone, I get a wide variety of reactions. Some say, "Good for you," before being interrupted by their dinging phones. Most look at me with puzzlement and say, "You mean you don't have a phone at all?" I do have a landline. Some say that I am a revolutionary badass. For the record, it's the only time in my life that me and badass have appeared in the same sentence. So why don't I have a phone? I found my phone seduced me into behaviors I didn't like. When I had 5 minutes between events, I would take my phone out and play with it. Now, I sit down and breathe and enjoy the moment. Sometimes I contemplate a challenge or think about a solution to a problem. I find these options are so much more rewarding. I don't have to worry about silencing my phone, losing my phone, or breaking my phone. When I am having a one-on-one conversation, I am not tempted to sneak a peek at my phone to see if I've missed Kamala's call asking me what should be done about the future of the Democratic Party. By this time, you're probably not surprised to hear that I'm not on social media. Is it a coincidence that the heartbreaking polarization that divides our country also correlates with the beginning of the internet? people who would never have the courage to say something to a person's face feel free to humiliate others, sometimes adding video. Being able to anonymously comment on people, places, and issues with impunity have led to a meaner America. Another correlation I find intriguing is that we have become a more alienated, lonely society since the internet started. As the virtual world takes us farther from reality, it is no wonder that many feel more isolated. I am also happy to miss the perfection that people portray their lives to be on social media. I am told that almost no one posts their struggles with addiction, a family member's estrangement, or their ongoing depression. Only the perfect gets posted. By not having an easy presence on social media, I am able to connect regularly with a limited number of friends whom I have made the effort to keep in my life, and they have made the effort to find me. I have perhaps 25 non-family friends, a manageable circle for meaningful relationships. There are certain technologies I embrace. It is a treat to see Janis Joplin perform at the Monterey Pop Festival on YouTube. I did not see Janis during her lifetime, and I would have missed her performance if it were not for technology. I am able to teach my OLLI classes using PowerPoint, hyperlinks, Zoom, and videos to make them more engaging to my students. It is also wonderful to be able to look up any fact that I become curious about. But I do worry that this easy access is having a negative impact on education. Some students don't feel the need to acquire a general body of knowledge because they can just Google it. An example of this was when my son was telling his bank officer that he was going to travel to the Czech Republic. The officer typed in C-H-E-C-K and declared that there was no such country. A mathematics professor I know says that many of his college freshmen have not memorized their times tables because they can always look them up on a calculator. AI is another technology about which I have concerns. Coupled with other growing demands on our electrical grid, such as Bitcoin and electrical vehicles, AI takes a lot of electricity to power it. It is estimated that in the United States will face a shortage of electrical power in about 2 years. This will require us to build more generations that use fossil fuels to the detriment of climate change. Furthermore, Microsoft is paying a company to restart the nuclear generators at 3 Mile Island. The movie Her, starring Joaquin Phoenix, released 11 years ago, takes place in 2025. The movie tells a story of a man who develops a meaningful relationship with an AI entity. In the current news, senior citizens with little family connection are using AI companions to combat their loneliness. I can see that this is a beneficial use of AI, but I find it a heartbreaking indictment of what our society has become. I am not smart enough to know if AI poses a threat to humans, but I am smart enough to know that AI will tell me exactly what I want to hear, which may be even more dangerous. Finally, I am concerned how technology is eroding our privacy. George Orwell wrote 1984 about a future society that was able to know what each of its citizens was doing at any given time. Never in his wildest dreams did Orwell imagine that citizens would willingly surrender their private information to access technology. In conclusion, I love to see musicians perform, have limitless access to information, and the promise of AI expanding our knowledge about the universe. I am concerned about the barrier being created between virtual world and reality, the vast amount of electricity needed to power technology, the surrender of privacy, and the cruelty that technology encourages with its anonymity. Our choir will sing "A Rose Touched by the Sun's Warm Ray."
So in the midst of all this talking about technology, we now bring you a message about nature.
I had a hard time finding out what I would say for today's service. I kept racking my brain for all the ways to describe how I'm unique, how my interaction with technology is telling or insightful to the rest of you. It's not, but I can share my unique perspective on not on technology in me, but technology in us. Firstly, I want to get some housekeeping done. I'm not a Luddite. I think technology is a boon to our society. Its advancement pushes us toward better, brighter futures. I appreciate the splendor of innovation and the easing of burdens that we can achieve through technology. It's with that said that I feel we have lost control of technology. We have reached too far, delved too deep, and found ourselves with great power, but we lack the wisdom to control it. It's my firm belief that the advancement of humanity, especially in this technological age, should be solely for the benefit of humanity. Yet it's all too common in the modern era to see the advancement of technology for profit. Corrupt corporations own our advancement and use it as a tool to extract outrageous amounts of money and data from us. Now with AI, we're sacrificing human authenticity and creativity for the sake of efficiency and profits. That's all to say, if we're to stop technology from consuming us, we must practice temperance, separate our avarice from our technology, allow ourselves authenticity and simplicity and balance in the natural and technological worlds. We should take a break from pushing the bounds of what's possible in pursuit of monetary gain. Ask ourselves, not if it's what we want to happen, but if it's what we need to happen. Practice mindfulness in our usage of technology, not letting it consume us. Take a break from doom scrolling and feel sun on your skin. Take a break from the iPad and pick up a book. I'm gonna stop sacrificing the authentic for the convenient, because convenient isn't always better.
Thank you, Finn. Love is the spirit of this church, and with this one statement, our covenant reveals what is most important to us. We hold love as our primary focus in everything we do. So it's as natural as breathing to cheer each other on when we strive for a big dream, or to hold one another during a loss, or to celebrate a joy with zest and true heartfeltness. We formalize this exchange in this part of the service. Excuse me, I've got a little cough. We call it candles of community. When you may come forward in person or electronically with what is on your heart, and Finn will light a candle for you. For those of you who are on Zoom, please send in your requests via the chat link, and after everyone in the congregation speaks, I will read what you post. Before I invite anyone to step forward with a joy or a sorrow, I'd like to share a request for the lighting of a candle that came in via email. Finn, are there any, no Zooms? Okay. So, Finn, will you actually, Kevin, I called you Finn. Sorry about that. Finn, yes, I know they're related. Finn, will you please light one more candle to support and embrace all the joys and sorrows that are in our hearts but remain unspoken. I'll just introduce myself. For those of you who don't know, I'm Barbara Rohrer, and I'm a longtime member here. And also, just so you know, when Bruce put this service together, he asked 4 of us, Jan will be speaking after me, to speak our thoughts on technology. We have no idea what anybody else was saying. And when Bruce asked me, I thought, Bruce, I'm not real big on technology. And so my opening line is that I am the kicking and screaming element of this part of the service. But I am happy to hear, after listening to Bruce and Finn's beautiful wisdom, I love that. We have knowledge but no wisdom. Spot on. So I will skip my opening lines. I have, my good fellows that show me that I'm not alone. But I will, in my brief remarks here, just go through my own history of technology, which is actually 40 plus years old. My introductions to computers came by way of an English professor's Radio Shack TRS-80. I see some nods, you all remember that. I was overwhelmed, but I could see the benefits that a word processing program would have for those of us who write. As for my introduction to the internet, that came 10 years later when a graduate school professor insisted that we all learn this new platform. As advances in technology were made, I became a dedicated Mac user, and I was forced to learn new systems. And with each new update, excuse me, with each new update, I questioned its purpose. What came before was fine. Improvements weren't needed. No one heard me. I muddled through, adjusting as I had to, and got more comfortable with technology as the years slipped by. Today, I use email. I find it an efficient way to share information, and I use the internet, look at facts, check out websites, and occasionally buy something online. I even have my own website and produce a little online publication, which I launched in 2023. I send out a newsletter each month about each new issue. I opened a Facebook account to see photos. The only reason I opened a Facebook account was to see photos that my nieces and nephews post. The only information I ever posted online is about the church rummage sale, which is coming up, folks. Just see the bulletin boards or see me at the potluck. This, Bruce, I relate to you. When I do scroll through my news feed, I think, is this really how I want to spend my time? I do confess, though, dog videos make me smile. So when I need a mental break, I pull up Facebook and see what nonsense the golden retriever King Buddy is carping about. And I also see some really good tips on cooking healthy meals, which I love. One thing I won't do online is banking. Once, when I was putting together a family care basket for a niece fighting breast cancer, another niece asked how she could pay for her share of the cost. "Do you Venmo?" she texted. Of course she texted. I replied, "I take checks." Now I do, unlike Bruce, own an iPhone, version 7. I think the latest version is 15. 16, see? Thank you, you're proving my point. Now I use my phone to text, to take photos, and I really appreciate GPS. And yes, I talk on my phone. I find I can often save time by placing a phone call versus trying to communicate via text. Text is great for, "I'll be there in 20 minutes," or "I'm at the store, do you need me to pick anything up?" But for anything that's more in depth, I prefer conversations. So you can see, despite my grumbling, I do use technology, but I have to tell you about the shock I had in 2023 when I bought a new car, a Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid. Previously, I drove a 2006 Scion XB, so the technology leap was huge, and I found it ridiculous. It took my brother and I way too much time one afternoon trying to figure out how to tune my radio to WVXU. And even the salesman who sold me the car said the car had way too many features. I would be happy if the manufacturers cut technology in half and charged $5,000 less. That's not going to happen. If a feature can be dreamed, I've discovered, it will be added. Now, I will never be a front runner when it comes to technology. In 10 years from now, when all of you are heavy into AI, I will be downloading the software for the first time. Still, I made peace with what is, and I do what I can to stay somewhat current, but I don't see me ever not wanting to touch something that I buy, not wanting to talk on the phone with someone I love, not wanting to get a card in the mail, US mail, that makes me smile every time I see it on my desk. Those are good things I don't want to let go of. Thank you.
So, my husband used to ditch school to go to Radio Shack to work on those TRS 80s. I used to break into the software on my Commodore 64. I just have so much that I didn't write any of this, I was just reacting. I started my professional career as a software developer. I was a software architect. I've been an enterprise architect. I now do technology investment governance. And this is my second global Fortune 50 company for which I do that. So I have a long history in technology. I joke that I'm the kicking and screaming also. My husband is the cutting edge guy who is a senior artificial intelligence engineer for Kroger Digital right now. So technology is embedded in our lives. If you want to count the number of, as Lacey was asking, devices, all of our children have laptops, iPhones, iPads, desktops. We have probably a dozen Alexa devices around the house, and most of us have Apple Watches as well. So and we drive a Tesla, and it does self-drive. So we are fully embedded in technology. So just to give you a sense of where I'm coming from. But today, I am not going to talk to you about technology. What I'm going to do is introduce those of you who have not been introduced to it to an artificial intelligence tool I use almost every single day and have for at least a couple of years now, and that's ChatGPT. So I'll be using a voice interactive interface, and I will be bringing you into that experience with me. Hopefully it stays on the right version, because otherwise its answers suck. All right. So I'm going to start with the quote that I shared with all of you earlier, but hang on, I got to turn on voice mode. Make sure the volume's up. There we go. Arthur Schlesinger once said, "Science and technology revolutionize our lives, but memory, tradition, and myth frame our response." How might we think about that in today's age of artificial intelligence, ever-increasing rapid advancement in technology, and some of the mix of excitement and fear that folks have around these tools?
Schlesinger's quote feels even more relevant today. AI and rapid technological advancements are reshaping how we work, communicate, and even think. But our responses, whether excitement, fear, skepticism, or enthusiasm, are deeply rooted in memory, tradition, and myth. Memory reminds us of past disruptions. Industrial revolutions, rise of the internet, and automation all provoked fear of job loss and societal upheaval. Yet they also brought progress. Tradition shapes our expectations for stability, making rapid change feel unsettling. And myth, whether utopian or dystopian, colors our perception of AI. Some see it as a benevolent force unlocking human potential, while others fear it as an existential threat. Today, these forces converge. AI offers unprecedented possibilities, but people bring historical anxieties and narratives to it. Some worry about bias, ethics, and control, while others see limitless opportunity. The challenge is balancing innovation with thoughtful governance, ensuring technological advancement aligns with human values rather than being dictated by them. How do you personally see this playing out in your world, whether in business, leadership, or community?
So instead of answering your question, I want to tell you that right now I have you on a microphone where you're speaking to a Unitarian Universalist congregation of members and guests at a church. They have a wide variety of perspectives on technology. They come from a wide range of backgrounds, and they are a variety of ages. How might you respond to how they can think about, or more apropos maybe, how they can spiritually process the advancements of technology in our society?
I love this setting. Unitarian Universalists are a thoughtful and questioning group, which makes this an especially rich conversation. If we step back from the wires, the code, and the algorithms, AI and technology aren't just about efficiency or disruption. They're about how we relate to change. They challenge us to reflect on what it means to be human, to connect, to create, to be ethical, and to live in community with one another. Spiritually, we can see this moment as a call to practice curiosity instead of fear, wisdom instead of unquestioning acceptance, and compassion in how we use and shape technology. AI, like any tool, reflects the hands that guide it. It has the power to amplify injustice or to bring people together. It can widen gaps or bridge them. And whether it does so is not just about lines of code, but about the values we bring to it. Our Unitarian Universalist tradition calls us to seek truth and meaning, to uphold justice, and to affirm the dignity of all people. That's a lens we can bring to technology. Instead of asking only, what can this do? We should also ask, what should this do? Who does it serve? Who does it harm? So as we encounter AI in our workplaces, our schools, our news feeds, even our spiritual communities, we can hold space for wonder because it is miraculous in many ways. But we can also hold space for discernment, for our responsibility to ensure it is used ethically, inclusively, and in service of humanity, not just in service of progress for its own sake. Perhaps the most spiritual question we can ask isn't just what will technology do to us, but what kind of people will we be in response to it?
Do you offer any closing thoughts to the congregation as part of, for some of them, an introduction to you and your capabilities?
I'll leave you with this. Technology is not separate from us. It is shaped by human hands, infused with human choices, and reflective of human values. The spiritual challenge before us is not just to keep up with its pace, but to ensure that it aligns with the best of who we are. Unitarian Universalists are seekers of truth, justice, and meaning. That makes you uniquely positioned to ask the hard questions, to hold a space where both excitement and concern can coexist, and to advocate for a future where technology serves humanity, not the other way around. So I invite you to stay curious, to lean into wonder, to bring both ethics and heart into conversations about AI and innovation. And most importantly, to remember that the power to shape the future doesn't belong to technology. It belongs to us. Thank you for your time, your attention, and your willingness to engage in this conversation.
So, what I will also tell you is that it writes all of that down in the background. If anybody would like me to provide them a written version of that conversation, you're willing to. My husband heard me rehearse my prompts yesterday. He heard it get a different answer every time. Some of the things I just heard, I hadn't heard yesterday. So it's very interesting. Having a math degree, I can tell you that it's all math. So we're getting ready to move into our closing hymn, but I want to try this. We are moving to our closing hymn, number 123, Spirit of Life. Will you introduce it to the congregation, please?
Absolutely. As we close our time together, we turn to a hymn that speaks to the deep longing of our spirits, the longing for connection, for renewal, and for guidance. Spirit of Life is more than just a song. It is a prayer, an invitation to let love and justice move through us, to let our hands and hearts be instruments of change, and to ground ourselves in something greater than any one of us alone. As we sing, I invite you to reflect on how the Spirit of Life moves in you, in your relationships, in your community, and yes, even in how we engage with the world of technology and change. May we bring both wisdom and compassion into all that we do. Please rise in body or spirit as we sing together, Spirit of Life.
outside the sanctuary, or in the sanctuary, and I'm learning, and Finn will lead us in the benediction.
We all ready? There we go. May the spirit of life, that each of us possesses, flow from one to the other. May it stay with us. And bring us peace and harmony. Until we meet again. Namaste and amen.
Hot rock.